Hi guys, and welcome back to part 2. So what have we done? Since the last time I've seen you, I sprayed Purity Seal over the resin, because I always do that just to seal it in place, and then what I do is I spray it white, and this helps me be able to go back, look for any mould lines that still need sorting out and cleaning it up. But all in all, I'm absolutely very happy with the finished product. I've managed to get all rid of the mould lines down the centres, and I've just generally cleaned it up. Okay, so what's next, you ask yourself? Well, okay, so what next is I'm going to be using Cantor Blue. Now, I've gone a lot darker with my blue for my Wild Eaters because when I was going through the book, the blue just looked a lot darker in the imagery than the lighter blue that I used, if you remember, a while back on the fell blade. So I've gone all dark blue with all my other Wild Eater Marines and my Contemptors. So we give this a good shake because obviously we like our paint to be well ready for us to begin painting. So I slurred slightly there. Okay, now what I normally do is I have a little bit of water nearby. You can see obviously it's tinted blue. And I just generally just put a drop in there, and when I'm painting it just gives me a much smoother finish. I don't go too mad with it, but it just helps spread a bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint all my fins on here blue, and then I'm going to get back to you in a minute with the finished product. Okay guys, so I'll see you in a second. Hi guys, how you doing? And I hope you're well. Okay, so I started painting this, and then I realised when I found an image in one of the heresy books that the fins were white at the top. So I've repainted the fins so they're white, which makes it a lot better looking. So what's the next step? Well, obviously the next step on this now is to do the metal parts. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, for this, we're going to take Iron Breaker. So I'm going to use GW paints as far as I can go with this today. So I'm going to use Iron Breaker, which is a Citadel paint, and I'm also going to be adding the golds in, and I'm going to be using Balthazar Gold, which you can get from any of the GW stores or outlets that sell GW paints. And I'm also going to be using, are you ready for this? Warplock Bronze. Now, I'm going Warplock Bronze for this section here. I'm going to be using the Balthazar Gold for here, and I'm going to be using the Iron Breaker, I think it is, Iron Breaker for the metal struts here and here, and we're going to do a whole load of other bits and pieces. So I'm going to start on that, and I'll see you in the next bit. Hi guys, and welcome back. Let's just adjust the camera quickly. So there's going to be a slight raise. There we go. That's much better. Okay, so what have we done? Well, we've just finished off doing the Iron Breaker, which is, if we just zoom in, there we go, Iron Breaker by Citadel, which is a GW product, and we painted all the metal bits that we want to paint so far. So all the metal's been done, and we're ready to go to the gold. Now for the gold, we're going to be using, as I said before, Balthazar Gold again, which is a GW paint, and what we're going to do is we're just going to paint this section up here, and we're going to look at, if I just tilt this slightly, this section and these sections here following down, and there's a bit underneath that we're going to do, and then we're going to move on. So I'm going to get all that done, and then I'm going to move on to the Balthazar, and we're going to paint this section here as well. So while I'm away doing that, you go get yourselves a cup of tea, and I'll see you in a second. Hi guys, and welcome back. Okay, so we're now moving on to the next part, and the next part on this is the weathering, or we're going to do chipping first of all. Excuse me. Okay, so chipping is a way of showing wear and tear on a vehicle or on an object, basically where we create an effect of age. So for example, this is a classic straight away. Right, just me manhandling this model as I've been painting it, my hands and the sweat from my hands has worn away the paint on the side there. So that straight away is an effect that's been created. Obviously it's not the effect that we want. If it was silver that was underneath, it'd be perfect. But what we're going to do is we're going to create that effect all over this model. So what I've done here is it's just a basic base coat. So I've stuck the transfers on, the base coat's been done. One of the transfers is already ripped off, which is good because again that'll add to the effect. I've just noticed that actually. So what we're going to try and do here is create a worn, chipped effect where the paint has been scratched and it's been used and abused. So that's what we're going to do now. Okay, so what we're going to use is, are you ready for this? This is all GW paint at the moment, and we're using lead belcher. And that's what you need, is lead belcher and bits of sponge. Now, a long time ago I did a video where I showed you how to turn this into a tool by attaching a brush to it. So please go back and look for that video, because it's an easy way of creating a tool with a sponge that you can use, and you can just wash it out, because it's got a certain effect that you've created in it by just by ripping it and tearing it away. You can create a look and a feel of chip paint on your model. Okay, so now I'm just babbling. Now I think we should just get on with it. So I'm going to pop open this brand new tub, which is always really refreshing, opening up a brand new pot of paint. I take a healthy amount onto my mixing tray. You don't need to see my mixing tray. By mixing tray I mean a lid from a paint pot. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to clean that brush out. We're going to take our tool, wherever that was, and let's just cut that down a bit because it's a bit big. Okay, so we're going to take our tool, just rip out some bits and pieces, and this is totally up to you the way you do it. Now I'm not going to do the whole model in front of you, I'm just going to start it off, just give you an idea. So I all start from the top downwards, and a lot of you are going to go, oh, what are you doing? I'm happy just to have it like that. Well, we're going to take it that step further and make ours a little bit more different than everybody else's. So I take off as much as I possibly can just by dipping the paint, the sponge off on the side sort of thing, just to get rid of it. You don't want too much on there because then it's just going to look silly. Okay, so straight away, by turning the sponge around and messing around with it, we're getting the desired effect. Now you have to think about where this paint's going to come off. So round here, now you're going to go, yeah, but there's nothing there to chip it off, where there's the heat coming from this. And don't forget, these things can fly as well. So we're creating an effect that we want with the sponge. Don't be afraid to come across your transfers or decals, whatever you prefer to call them, and then you can go all the way down. Now what we also want to do is we want to get it in there, so just there you go, like so. It's that simple, really simple. So straight away we're starting to get a really lovely effect. Okay, so guys, I'm going to continue with the rest of it, and when we're finished, well, when I finish, we'll do the next part of the video, so I'll see you in a second. Hi guys, and welcome back. So here we are, we've now done all our chipping effect using the sponge. So we've created our weathered look. Now we've placed, obviously, where we've worn it down more, where the thruster is, just there, and obviously where bits are gonna where the atmosphere is going to burn against it, or if it's flying through you know, dust and stuff like that, you know, where the chipping is going to be mostly affected. Okay, so, and you know me, I like my stuff heavily weathered because I like the used and abused look. Okay, so I'm going to see you in the next video. Now I know this one that you're watching right now has taken quite a long while since the last video, because I've been up to loads of different things, but now it's done. So I'm going to see you guys in the next video, where we're going to be focusing on washing this and adding highlighting and playing around with different washes and effects. So guys, I'll see you later. You take care, be safe, and I'll see you soon.